Okay, here we are, kiddos. This is Unit 6. Unit 6 has to deal with different probabilities. They're called binomial probabilities, binomial distributions, where a lot of times you're given like a yes or no option. It's either this or the other thing. And how the unit gets started is it starts off with these frequency tables. And again, what a frequency represents is the number of somethings. So this is a colossally long list of somethings. And this happens to have, for instance, 9 zeros. So this list starts off with 9 zeros. And then it has 72 ones, etc., etc., etc. So this list is 240 numbers long, and it's made up of just zeros through 7. All right, so F is the number of somethings. Okay, before I get to this, let's get to all of the formulas that you'll potentially need for this chapter. All right, so dig out your formula sheet, and let's put something on it. All right, so the first thing is, how do I get just a probability of a particular number? A probability of X. And that is the number of them. And so that is AKA the frequency of those X's, divided by the sum of all of the frequencies. And so that will get you the probabilities in general of each individual thing. So that'll get all of the probabilities. And you'll see how this will work out here in just a little bit, but just keep on keeping on. All right, the next, this is a new symbol. This is a Greek letter of mu. Before I move any further, I do kind of need to bust out the handwriting chart, because this is not the letter M. This is not the letter M. If I see the letter M or anything resembling M, I'll mark your problem wrong. This is Greek letter mu. How to write a Greek letter mu? It's like a lowercase u. It's like a lowercase u with a long front tab to it. So if you can write in cursive, it's like writing in cursive u, just with a longer front letter. All right, and this is Greek letter mu. What mu represents is the average, the mean. That's what a mu is. It's the average. And this comes with a formula of X, Px. X, Px. All right. Next, we have another new symbol. It's like a cursive O, and this is a lowercase sigma. This is a lowercase sigma, and this is the standard deviation. Again, handwriting lesson. Remember these from back in the day. It's like writing the letter O with a swoop. So again, if you can write cursive, if you can write in cursive, where a cursive letter O looks like that, it's a cursive O without the front swoop. Notice how it's lowercase. So again, the two letters and how to write them. Is the symbol mu and the symbol sigma. The formula for this standard deviation is going to be the sum, open, open, x minus mu, closed squared, times px. Okay. Then we are going to further get on. This is further down the road. R. R stands for the number of successes. Okay, it's what you're looking for. And this is going to be NCR times P to the R times Q to the N minus R. Where P is the probability of success, and Q is the opposite. That's the probability of failure. Together, P and Q equal 100%. So if probability of success is 75%, failure would be 25%. And then we have the average, or the expected value from that, which is N times P, and the standard deviation, which is N times P times Q, rooted. Again, we're not going to worry about these until a little bit later, but this will pretty much complete your formula sheet as far as this chapter is concerned. Okay, so back to this. First question is, use the relative frequencies to find P of X. So relative frequencies, find P of X for 0 to 7. Okay, so here's what is being asked. If I have all these X's of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, so X is a list. What are the individual probabilities of each one of those X's? What's the probability of getting a 0, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, and a 7? All right, so you'll recall from the formula sheet that I just gave you, the probability is F divided by the sum of F. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to our calculator. We're going to go to that stat screen. We have these two lists. And let me go back here. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the X's into list 1. And I'm going to put the F's into list 2. So the X's go into list 1, so that's 0, 1, 2. Oh, snap. Sorry. Typing in the wrong format here. Here we go. Here we go. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then my F's are 9, 72, 63, 41, 28, 14, 8, and 5. So I have my X's and my F's as list 1 and list 2. Just going to double check to make sure I didn't make a mistake. Okay, we're good to go. So if I know that the probability is equal to F divided by the sum of F, in calculator speak, F is list 1, or excuse me, list 2, divided by the sum of list 2. Calculator speak, that's what P of X is. It's list 2 divided by the sum of list 2. Okay. Now it spits out this list. You should be getting a list answer. Again, your calculator looks a little bit different than mine. It's not a big deal. Okay, so what this list is that it's giving me right here is the probabilities individually of a 0, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Those are the individual probabilities. All right, so here's where we're going to have to do a little bit of fancy footwork with our calculator. All right, and just follow along, and then we can talk about the meaning behind what I did here in just a second. So I have this list. So what I need to do now, I'm going to be writing at the top of the board, is I'm going to take this list answer, right? So I take this list answer, and I store this as list 3. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Right, so here we go. I go list answer. Again, that's the gold writing above the above the negative. So list answer store. Okay, that's store, that arrow button, store. And that is right above the on button. So I'm going to, in essence, save a file into my calculator. And I'm going to now enter list 3. Again, one more time, what I did is I went shift list answer, which is this down here. So I go shift that, list answer, store as list 3. Now what that did is now when I go to my calculator over here, if I go over to list 3, those are all the individual probabilities that I just created. So if I correspond this with list 1, these are the probabilities of those. So this is 0375, 0.3, 0.2625, 0.1708. Oh, also, I'm taking a look not at the highlighted number, but the big long decimal that's at the bottom, not the highlighted number. Because notice right there, the highlighted number doesn't round your numbers. That's 1167. All right, so those are the individual probabilities of getting an individual 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. Okay, now, so what I have in my calculator right now is X. That is list 1. I have X. That is list 2. I have the probabilities of those X's. I stored that as list 3. Again, that is what I did when I did that thing up there. So those are the 3 things that are in my calculator right now. Now, the next few problems are going to be asking you a range kind of problem. Like, what is the probability that X is between 2 and 5, including 2 and 5? So what is the probability that X is in between 2 and 5, including 2 and 5? So if I have to find a range of probabilities, like multiple probabilities put together, what you do is you add up the individual probabilities of that range. So 2 to 5 would mean I'm adding up the probabilities of 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's the probability of 2 to 5. And so I know those probabilities. The probability of 2, for instance, is 2625. 3 is 1708. 4 is 1167. And 5 is 0583. Those are the individual probabilities. And then thus the overall probability is 6083. Next is, what is the probability that the value is less than 3? So what is the probability that my value is less than 3? Notice how it does not include 3. So take a look at your list, and it involves all the numbers that are less than 3. That'd be the probability of 0, 1, and 2. Those are the numbers that are less than 3. Again, you don't include 3 because 3 is not less than 3. So you take those individual probabilities and you add them up. Okay, the next question is asking for an expected value. The expected value is mu. It's that letter mu. It's the average. So let's start with the formula for that mu. Mu is equal to xpx. So the average is xpx. So think about this. Let's work smarter, not harder. Think about what we have here. So if mu is xpx, x is list 1 times px, which is list 3. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I think I missed a symbol here. Oh, my bad. Yeah, I'm dumb. I'm sorry. Sorry. Should have known better. I was thinking about it earlier and totally wrote it wrong. So it's close, but it's not. X. Sorry. Missed the summation of that. So let's go back. Wrong formula. Close, but no cigar. So this is going to be the sum of xpx. That makes a lot more sense. All right, so let's take that one more time. So again, we still have list 1, list 2, list 3, xfpx. And so this is going to be the sum of x, which is list 1, px, which is list 3. So that's sum of xpx. All right. And so one more time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to store something in your calculator. And I am going to store this letter mu as the letter U. I'm going to store this mu as the letter U. How I do that, okay, when I was storing the px, it was a list. So what I had to do is I had to take the list answer and store it as list 3. Similar. But mu is not a list. It's just a straight up number. It's a straight up answer that is in my calculator. It's not a list. It's just an answer. So I don't have to have the answer portion, excuse me, the list portion to this process. So I'm just going to hit answer, and then I'm going to type in the letter U. Again, if you don't know how to do that, you hit the alpha button, the red alpha button, and then you hit the letter U, which is what, the number 1? Which is like the number 1. So I have this answer, so I'm going to hit my answer, store, and again, that's the arrow that is above the on button. I'm going to store this as the letter, so I hit alpha, and then the letter U, which is the number 1. So now whenever I use the letter U in my calculator right now, it'll recognizes it as 2.441666666. Learning all sorts of new buttons today and stuff. Okay. Last but not least, what is the standard deviation? The standard deviation is the letter sigma. Okay, it's the letter sigma. And I know I got that formula right on the other page. Let's just take a glance at it. Formula sigma. Sigma is the sum of x minus mu squared px. All right. Now, again, using all the things that I stored into my calculator, I should have all the necessary pieces, and you can just straight up plug and chug. So this is going to be the sum, open, open, x, which is list 1, minus mu, which is the letter U, closed, squared, px, which is list 3, closed. And that's it. Let's see if I can get all the formulas on one page. I wrote kind of large here. Again, this needs to get on your formula sheets, kiddos. There's no way around it. All right. So page 2 is the same stuff, different problem. So again, what I'm going to originally do is I am going to take my x's and I am going to put them into list 1. And I'm going to take my f's and I'm going to put them into list 2. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my p of x's and store that as list 3. Again, p of x, I'll write it kind of over here, is f divided by the sum of f. It's f divided by the sum of f, which in other words is list 2 divided by the sum of list 2. What I'm going to do with that is I'm going to take that list answer, I'm going to store it as list 3. And And then all I need to do is write the stuff down from there. So here we go. Onto the calculator. I go to my stat. I clear out anything that is in there. This is all old business, so I make sure I delete it all. Even list 3. And so I put my X's into list 1. I put my F's into list 2. All right, I go to my main calculator, and now I'm going to construct this P of X. So I'm going to take F divided by the sum of F. That will spit out a list. Not a big deal. So I'm going to take that list answer, and I'm going to store it as list 3. Okay, so now all I need to do is I need to write down and answer question number 1. Is what are the probabilities individually of 0 to 7? So these are the x's, and these are the probabilities of those x's. So I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6. Six and 7. Okay, and I want to see a table like this. I want to see this table created when you answer this question. Warning, it's on the test. So those individual probabilities should be in list 3. So I go to my calculator, take a look at list 3, and again, take a look at that bottom big fraction. Don't take a look at the fraction that is highlighted. So 0, 5, 4, 5. One, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 6, 4. 3, 3, 8, 2. 1, 4, 9, 1. Again, if you're not looking at that bottom number, I know if you're lazy or not. 0, 3, 6, 4. 0.04. 0.0109. Those are the individual probabilities right now. So updating my stuff that is in my calculator list, what I now have is my P of X is in list 3. Okay, next will come a few problems about the range of somethings. So this is the probability that it's between 2 and 5, including 2 and 5. So that would be the probabilities of 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that is 2, 3, 6, 4, 3, 3, 8, 2, 1, 4, 9, 1, and 0, 3, 6, 4. And there you have your probability. Next is the probability that x is less than 3. Again, that does not include 3. So that is anything that is less than 3, which would be 0, 1, and 2 out of this list. So the individual probabilities would be 0, 5, 4, 5, 1, 3, 4, 5, and 2, 3, 6, 4. Next is the expected value. That's mu. Mu is equal to the sum of xpx. So that's going to be the sum. Here, I'll write down what I'm. That's the sum of x px. Okay. This is just a straight up answer. So I'm going to take that answer and I'm going to store it as the letter U. So I take this answer and I store it as the letter U. Okay, the next question is, what is the standard deviation? Let me highlight this answer. So the standard deviation is going to be the sum, open, open, x minus mu, closed squared px. Closed. All right, so this is the sum. Open, open, mu, oh, that's mu, excuse me, x minus mu closed squared px closed. There you go. Got your averages, you got your standard deviations, and you figured out how to figure out a range of probabilities. And here's the calculator buttons that you had to press. So again, you may want to jot those down on a formula sheet or something like that, unless you got it. Easy peasy.